Okay, everybody, now check this out. All educated gang stalking victims know that this crime, at one point in their targeting, will use sound in order to. First, the victim will just perceive it as being sound that's being used intentionally to irritate the victim. But, excuse me, hold on. But what the internet is stating concerning why it's being done through doctors, scientists, and researchers, is that it's actually propped up in order to assist in sensory overload and auditory brain entrainment. Now, these criminally insane psychos that perpetrate this crime, I'm going to be quiet for about 1 minute. Now, hold on 1 second. Okay, so right now, in my left ear, and I'm hearing it in the environment, so I know it's in the environment. Okay, because I got tissue in my ears right now, and I put these noise cancellation headphones on, and I still hear it. Okay, now, so it's definitely the types of noise I'm going to explain here in a minute. It's definitely the type of noise that has been tweaked in order to force you to hear it, no matter what you have in your ears. And I made many videos discussing about how I deal with community-based harassment, sound harassment, car convoy harassment, connected to gang stalking crimes. So I've made videos, many videos through Periscope accounts and YouTube videos showing me state that as a result of the massive noise harassment that I have endured and still endure at times through the community-based harassment, which again was, but not limited to, the car convoy noise harassment and much more, I was forced to respond to it in order to try and block it out, to have certain measures of peace back in my life by putting tissue in my ears and buying these noise cancellation headphones through Amazon. These are basically the type of headphones that construction workers use. So, now there are certain technologies widely, massively reported to be done to be used in gang stalking crimes. Sound technologies included that are not recordable on a tape recorder. And those types of technologies are called voice to skull, ELF broadcasting, and I don't know if there's any. I think maybe I've seen over the years many reports of technology called silent sound spread spectrum. I mean, look at the title of that, silent sound spread spectrum. Now, these mass murdering, human trafficking, rape, and horrors that host this crime all over the country at the epidemic level. Consider this, there's no way tens of thousands of gang stalking victims who have never talked to each other yet are sharing the same exact identical general story online pertaining to most of the methods that are used. Okay? Now, there's no way that these people can be sharing identical stories, okay, in a more than general way. People who have never talked to each other, nothing's going on. So, you got to remember, we're literally dealing with a crime that's widely reported to be using a whole host of different sound technologies. And some of those sound technologies are also widely reported to be types of sound technologies that can not be tape recorded. Even John Hall talks about that in his YouTube video, Satellite Terrorism. Absolutely. And when you research all the different sound technologies that these mass murdering wild animals are reported to be using, and then when you really thoroughly dive into the research, once you discover the names of these sound technologies, you're going to discover that it's already widely reported that some of these technologies cannot be recorded, but can still be perceived by the human ear. Now, since I don't know these wild animals concerning who they are, it's obvious I'm not aware, what technology they could be using. But you got to remember, some of the main goals of gang stalking is to achieve their motives without leaving a trace of proof. It's one of the reasons why this crime is so successful. It's one of many reasons why this crime is so successful. Because if a satanic rat who hosts this crime nationwide at an epidemic level, and trust me, it's more than one rat. If they have a specific motive and they want to achieve it, then if part of the program is to use technologies, sound technologies that are not recordable but perceivable to the human ear, and it's widely reported that they massively do it, do you honestly think they're not going to do it? So let me give you an example about what I mean here in a somewhat of a way. Right now in my left ear, concerning the way I'm sitting right now, pertaining to the way I'm positioned. So this right here on my face is facing forward. There's a rat mound over there, a wood rat mound. Okay, so in my right ear, I'm hearing a screeching noise, and in the environment, I can tell it's from the environment. Oh, absolutely. Because even when I put those noise cancellation headphones on and tissues in my ears, it drowns it out quite significantly. I'd say at least by 40%. So if it was something that was just being heard in my ear canal, buying through the specific type of technology that can't be recorded, then why then when I put fresh tissue in my ear and then put my noise cancellation headphones on, it goes down about 40% until about 2 or 3 minutes later, and then I notice that it's heard at the same level, which is strongly suggesting, if it can hopefully ever be provable, that they're able to determine by monitoring the victim's audio cortex that the victim is using something that's blocking it out, so then they're turning it up so that it can still be heard at the same level they want it to be heard, even when you're doing something to block it out. Because there's no way that's an accident. Let me tell you something about, here's another thing connected to this crime. This crime will absolutely, intentionally, criminally, falsely diagnose gang stalking victims. They're doing this all over the country with mental illnesses that they know the victim does not have at all. It's called the psychiatric reprisal. Google that extensively to gang stalking. Because the psychiatric reprisals and these organized crime doctors contracted through state, county, and city governments and in local neighborhood area hospitals, medical clinics, and medical centers, they're part of the organized crime program of gang stalking, because they're treating gang stalking victims as straw people for medical insurance fraud schemes, illegal property control schemes, and much more. So they're already part of the program. So when these satanic bitches use this technology that they know you can't prove, concerning the ones that at least can't be recorded, and even if they could be slightly recorded, because the other day when this was going on, I brought up my tape recorder and I was totally quiet, and it was luckily at a time when there wasn't a lot of car convoy noise harassment going by, and I let the tape recorder play without me making a noise, and it did catch it, but you can only slightly hear it, because you got to remember these tape recorders are also picking up the environment and the sound. Okay, because when I'm at this area, infrequent, because when there's no car convoy noise harassment going on, there are still periodic cars going by. Okay, and people going by on bikes and stuff like that, and then you got the natural sounds of the environment. Okay, relative to, like, maybe you might hear sounds from neighbors and stuff like that, and then you got to also remember that tape recorders will pick up distant sounds of traffic. So it's very hard to pick it up, but I know that, like, just in the past 4 days, when I tried to catch it on this tape recorder, I set the tape recorder out, and I was totally quiet, and then I recorded. I used the recording mode, and then I stopped the recording mode, and I went and played it. I could faintly hear it in the background. Okay. Now I don't know if the audio of this video camera is good enough to pick it up. So I'm going to be quiet just for a minute. So I hear a low bass hum in my left ear, and I hear a sort of like a screeching tone in the right. Now there is no way at all. Okay, there's no way at all that I'm like 99% sure there's no ear defects that would cause the ears to produce two different dissimilar sounds at the same time. And by the way, you should know that Dr. John Hall has exposed on the internet that one of the crimes that this crime will do is spit two dissimilar frequencies at gang stalking victims in order to create what is known as an interference signal in the brain. You should know that as well. Because, let me show you something. I got to bring up my other phone. But while this other phone is booting up, I'm going to play you a section of an audio file from a recording from it's the audio from the Techno Crime Fighters video episode number 43. You need to listen to this. So let me just boot the tape recorder up. And I'm just going to play it for a couple of minutes. You need to listen what you're about ready to hear is going to blow your mind. Listen to this.
And I think think you may have mentioned Rani Kilder, right? Dr. Rani Lukanen Kilder, Chief Medical Officer of Finland, who also was killed with directed energy weapons after literally spending a lifetime writing, talking, going to conferences, and whistleblowing about it. There's one thing I wanted to read out from her book about paranoid schizophrenia, sort of an explosive bit of information for everybody. So if you guys have the time right now, I'll read it right now. Okay, so she made this speech at the 33rd International Congress on Military Medicine in Helsinki in June of 2000, and her paper was titled Electromagnetic Neurotelecommunication and Cybernetics. Okay, and what she's talking about is the connection between paranoid schizophrenia, the DSM, the symptoms described to paranoid schizophrenia as expressed in the DSM, and how reporting victims of intelligence agency crime are being dismissed and discredited with this paranoid schizophrenia diagnosis. So, in 1952, when electronic implants were placed in brain and teeth for tracking behavior and mind control, conditioning, programming, and covert operations, I mean, she goes boom right to the heart of the matter there, telling us exactly what was going on in 1952. Remember, the 50s to the 70s was when MK Ultra was booming, and then it was kind of discovered in the middle of the 70s. Then we all know it kind of went underground, and then it came out in the Joint Non-Lethal Weapons Directorate in the Navy, the Air Force Research Laboratory, all of those military. There started to become a lot of connection between the military and the CIA at that point, and what they were studying termed as MK Ultra programs, that they were studying in the 70s, sort of got transferred over into non-lethal weapons, electromagnetic weapons, electronic weapons studies, etc. So anyway, in 1952, when these implants were placed in brain and teeth for tracking, etc., it became necessary to hide the technology, electronic stimulation of the brain, and implants during surgery or abduction from the public because of the Nuremberg Code, which prohibits involuntary medical experimentation on humans. DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Psychiatry, was created in 20 languages. Today, it lists 4 methods used in unsuspecting targets in electronic, chemical, or bacteriological warfare experiments assigned to paranoid schizophrenia, also for psychological warfare. All medical schools teach that one is mentally ill if you hear voices in your head, feel that you're surveilled, poisoned, beat with microwaves, listened to via radios, telephone, loudspeakers, TV, feel that your thoughts are read and reacted to by strangers, and if you experience paranormal phenomena like contact with the energy of a deceased for longer time, etc. Differential diagnosis that the person is a victim of mind control is never taught. Neither the fact that the technology indeed exists already for 50 years without public knowledge, without any contact with the subject. Remote neural monitoring can map out electrical activity from the visual cortex of the subject's brain and show images from the subject's brain on a video monitor. Operatives see what the surveillance subject's eyes are seeing. Visual memory can also be seen, and they can put images into the subject's brain while they are in REM sleep to do brain programming. Two-way electronic brain link is done by remotely monitoring neural audiovisual information while transmitting sound to the auditory cortex, bypassing the ears, and transmitting faint images to the visual cortex, bypassing optic nerves and eyes. Nanotechnology computers of certain intelligence agencies are a generation ahead of present academic computer technology. There has been a signals intelligence network since 1940 in USA, and Russian woodpecker signals toward Americans till 1960s in Moscow. High-frequency beams of radiation to the embassy cause malaise, irritability, extreme fatigue, and effects are not temporary but include cataracts, blood changes that induce heart attacks, malignancies, circulatory problems, and permanent deterioration of the nervous system. Today, sudden attack of flu symptoms without virus or epileptic attack.
Now, what I'm going to show you is going to blow your mind, my fellow American citizens. So pay attention and pay attention closely. Okay? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up... I brought up this other phone while I was playing that audio so you could hear it. And that came from the Techno Crime Fighters video episode number 43. And I'll show you how to get to that in a second. But what I'm going to do, you can clearly see I'm at a wooded area. Okay? I'm at a wooded area. And this particular property has no buildings on it of any kind. It has no telephone poles, no utility poles. It's nothing but, period, a wooded area. So consider this. I have an ultrasound detector app here on this phone. And I'm bringing it up right before your eyes. I have no other apps that are minimized at this time, I believe. Well, let me get the ones out that are. Okay, so I have no minimized apps. There's nothing running in the background concerning any of my electronic devices. And I don't even have any electronic devices that can play ultrasound. So check this out. This is an ultrasound detector app. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. Okay, so I got a burp. Hold on. Excuse me. So this is an ultrasound detector app. And I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to press on it. And I'll watch what you're going to see this detector app pick up. And I'm at a wooded area too. So let me bring this up so you can see it better. Now this already right here indisputably proves when you research at Google and even YouTube extensively ultrasonic sound bone conduction torture and gang stalking. Do you honestly think when you see the amount of Google generated responses and the amount of responses at YouTube, do you honestly think nothing's going on? Because 98.999% of all these victims who are on the internet exposing this have never talked to each other, yet they're all sharing the same shit. Look at that. And I'm at a wooded area. Now, so when they, and by the way, whatever is projecting this low hum, bass hum type noise that I hear in my left ear, I also hear a machine. Like it's some type of machine that's running it. I hear it's like a low hum, a constant low hum. You know, like when you hear a bass guitar, okay, when it picks the guitar like one note and it's bass, but it's constant. But it also sounds like it's coming from a machine. Okay? Yet the right ear hears a different sound. It's like a screeching sound. Okay? Now, those two dissimilar sounds are being heard and transferred in my brain through the right and left hemisphere, while this ultrasonic sound is being transferred through the ear as well. Now, you can see this being caught in real time. And I'm at a wooded area. Now, again, you got to remember, I don't know if the tape recorder is picking this up. Let me take a one snap screenshot of this event. Okay. Now, look at that. Okay? That's extreme. Ultrasonic sound bone conduction, what it does is it literally creates consecutive concussions. While your brain is being, while it's also being used for auditorial resonance entrainment, while it's acting as a sound carrier wave, while it's acting as a sound carrier wave for the other sounds that are propped up in the environment, which are usually like when the car convoy noise shit goes on in the environment. You know what these little rats will do? They'll use a whole cacophony of different sounds. Okay? So that while those sounds are being processed through my ears on the ultrasonic sound wave for ultrasonic sound resonance auditorial entrainment. This is how evil these sick fucks are. Absolutely. They're literally causing extreme neurological damage, extreme permanent traumatic brain injury and neurological damage. Okay? Oh, absolutely. So I'm going to show you something right now live in real time. And I got to kind of step up and I got to talk a little bit faster because I only try to make 33-minute videos at a time. Now, you probably noticed that it just got a little bit dark in here. Now, the reason why I decided to make it a little dark in the immediate environment that I'm in right now, in fact, I got to do something. Hold on. This right here is a black UV flashlight that I bought from Amazon. Okay? Now, this black UV light, which you can see works, Okay, when it is shined onto the eyes of a gang stalking victim who has non-consensual remote neural monitoring islands implants in their eyes, the eyes will show up as being turquoise. That's a photo from a video I've already made of my eyes. Okay, now I'm going to show it to you in real time. Now I'm going to make it a little bit darker in this environment, so that the exterior light does not interfere with the light density of the UV light when I shine it on my eyes, and your mind is literally gonna be blown. Now hold on one second. Concerning what you see, so I'm facing right now. Let me turn on the light. I'm facing the camera lens right now on my left eye. Okay, and then you want to see that the pupil is going to turn turquoise, and you're going to probably see a blue dot in the retina. Okay, now that's my left eye. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the right eye. I got to change my hand on my phone here because I got to hold the flashlight now with my right hand. Okay, so now this is my right eye. Okay. Now again, I don't know if this if the microphone of this phone while I'm using the camera app is picking up what is being perceived. I can tell it's being projected from the environment, absolutely. And by the way, each of these sounds that I'm hearing, the low bass hum, constant hum sound, that's being picked up on my left ear, is coming from the direction where I've already caught massive gang stalking evidence at through Holosonics technology on audio files. And let me tell you something right now. If these little satanic bitches who are connected to state, county, and local governments and state, county, and local law enforcement out here in California, if they arrest me before I can get those audio files uploaded to YouTube concerning Holosonics and the audio, which is also, I guess, called the Audio Spotlight, which is also massively widely reported to be used in these crimes, that technology can get caught on tape. And I've caught it on this property on at least 5 dates now. On this property in real time on my tape recorders, because I have literally brought the tape recorder audio files back up that have caught it in order to make sure it got caught, and it was right there. Okay, so if I get arrested for illegal lodging because this crime intentionally made me homeless, all they got to do is steal the audio files, look for a normal appearing excuse to say, oh, well, look at, why they know where some of my videos are at, and then use your video testimony against you to call you crazy. Because organized crime in the system, at the federal, state, and local level, including state, county, and local cops and federal cops, are some of the widely reported satanic rats to be hosting this crime. Okay, hold on one second, because my little squirrel's here. She wants her dinner or her breakfast. All right, so hold on one second. Hold on, baby. And she's kind of uppity in the morning. So let me find, because you're gonna have to wait a second, boo boo, because I set it down and I forgot where I put it. All right, here it is. I gotta hurry up and do this because I still gotta show you a couple things. So you gotta remember. So consider this and consider this well. There is no accident. There is no way that it's an accident. That, in fact, check this out. Even the United Nations declared gang stalking victims as being extreme torture victims. In the UN Cyber Torture Report, the word cyber has got a double meaning to it. It's a hyphen. Cyber is hyphenated to stand for cyber harassment, because we are subject to many gang stalking psychological operations online, cyber harassment, cyber hacking, and a bunch more. But it also stands for cybernetics, because gang stalking victims are widely reported to be used as non-consensual human experimentation projects for transhumanism objectives. Google and research all my statements. And my fellow American citizens, I think you're going to be able to see that I am definitely being used for that. Now, this right here are snap screenshots from a live Periscope broadcast. What you want to do is you want to first write down that YouTube URL link. That's from the Techno Crime Fighters video episode number 58. Techno Crime Fighters is the name of a YouTube playlist where it's got a bunch of interviews within that one playlist, generally between three, 4 women. But sometimes they'll also have guests. Okay, well, it's generally 3 or 4 women. And they do a very good job in discussing and disclosing crimes connected to this crime of gang stalking. It's also called organized stalking. So you want to bring that up. And in this particular video, take a snap screenshot of that and then type it into your URL address bar. You want to look at episode number 58, which is that YouTube URL link right there, and 51 immediately, and then go to 43. Okay? So this right here are these, what you see right here are pictures that were snap screenshotted as a live Periscope video was being made on June 3rd, 2021. And if I got time, I'll boot this phone back up and I'll play a YouTube video, or I'll try to play it in this particular video. I've already played it in other videos that are dedicated to the YouTube account you're watching this video through once it's uploaded. But these photos came from a Periscope live broadcast on June 3rd, 2020 as a direct result of my head and face being cooked for over 18 full straight hours with extremely high levels of directed energy weapons and electromagnetic weapons being used, both of those technologies being used on my head and face at the same time for 18 straight hours at two areas, two places, one at a wooded area and one at Vaughn's grocery store located on Arabia Street and Regents Road in La Jolla, California, which is located in San Diego County. Okay, 18 full straight hours. Now, as a direct result of that, they were basically boiling my brain. They were literally cooking my brain from the inside out. That was literally what was going on. And you should research electromagnetic weapons, torture, and gang stalking. It's even included in the UN Cyber Torture Report, exposed to be crimes connected to the crime of organized stalking, which is one of the reasons why organized stalking, gang stalking victims are labeled as being extreme torture victims, because they're literally torturing us to death by cooking our brains, our organs, our bones, and much more. So when I made this Periscope video at the University Town Center Mall on June 3rd, 2020, the Periscope video picked them up. Because what happened was, as a result of them literally cooking my brain and basically my whole head, they were cooking it alive. It caused so much heat to transpire concerning brain fluid, eye fluid, and water in my eyes to boil up into bubbles, just like you're boiling an egg. That pushed the back part of the remote neural monitoring islands implants out, making them transparently visible. So if you want to know what type of implants these are, they directly interface with remote neural monitoring. These are biofilm, light crystal, ocular, OCCULAR, islands implants. And you can take that description and Google it extensively. They do interface with remote neural monitoring because of the crimes that I endure through them. They can send video streams to them. Whatever they send to them, you see in your visual cortex. And the audio you just heard clearly showed Romola D openly state that remote neural monitoring has that capacity to do so. Oh, absolutely. So this right here,
which is this one right here, you're going to see a little white line. Look. Okay? Look. Now look at over here on the left eye.
Okay, so that's part of the...
It's only 51 seconds.
That's part of the Periscope video.
So,
That's part of the Periscope video right there. Let's see if I can backtrack it just for a second. Alright, so here it is right here. It's getting ready to be brought up. It's only 51 seconds long, so watch it. This is in Leslie Williams' YouTube account, Exposing Court. Okay, it's the very first video in your videos in that YouTube channel. And so just type in that title. Okay? I'm going to play it right here. Watch.
Especially to the left of it, right here. Okay. Now, do you see one that's there on the right eye, on the right side of the pupil of the right eye? But it's a lot more faint, but it's definitely there. Now, if you look closely on the right eye, to the left side of the pupil on the right eye, which is this one right here, you're going to see a little light white line. Look. Okay? Look. Now look at over here on the left eye.
Okay, so that's...
The video is only 51 seconds long.
So that's the video right there. That's the Periscope video being played in this video I made through my phone. Okay? And that's what these snap screenshots are from. So, I'm aware that you weren't able to. If you were to see the Periscope video link is in my blog attached to my Twitter account. My Twitter account is Neo Exposing Truth at HIGGINSGGGG. That's all lowercase. And again, bring up this YouTube video because these remote neuromonitoring islands implants are discussed in a book written by Dr. Hildegard Staninger. I got that book, but it's not in my physical possession at this at this particular moment. And in that book, it not only discusses them on page 8, but it also shows what these islands implants look like when you shine a black UV light on them. Well, this YouTube video discusses that as well. But that YouTube video also discusses, it also details many of the uses of why they're there. Now you see, so these light crystals, you can almost see that they're beads. These are specific light dot crystals, and they literally act as an LCD readout. Where you can, it's a little walking, talking visual camera. So when you shine a black UV light on them, they show up turquoise. I'd like to know what the blue is in the retina. Absolutely. So when I tell you, my fellow American citizens, you should also research ear implants in gang stalking. Cochlear ear implants, audio implants, and gang stalking. These sick, filthy, satanic bitches that commit this crime, they know that they can put shit in you non-consensually. Okay? Literally. Through multiple means. Absolutely. So once they put this shit in you, then they interface with you remotely. So when I say there's fucking a low hum noise to the left of me, hold on. Okay, so it's been turned drastically down now. Okay? So when I tell you that there's a low hum, non-stop, constant noise to my left ear and then a high screeching noise to my right, those are two dissimilar type of fucking sounds. And John Hall's all over the internet openly exposing in his YouTube exposures that this crime will send two dissimilar frequencies to the brain in order to create an interference signal. While ultrasonic sound is being fucking processed in my ears, which I showed you from the ultrasound app. See, these wild satanic fucking whores believe they can do anything and everything they want to anybody and everybody they want and walk away scot-free. Okay? Absolutely. And you wouldn't believe what I'm putting up with along my route, where they're propping up people along my routes to repeat gang stalk, oh my god, and suck my DSCK. Go to YouTube search box and type in that YouTube search box, M as in Mary, MTS, gang stalk, oh my god, suck my DSCK, and then read what's in the description of that playlist, and that's what you're seeing being described concerning what I'm enduring through physical people being described in the description of that YouTube playlist is what you're going to hear in the videos. So put on a good set of headphones, sit in a quiet room, listen carefully, and you'll hear it being said, being caught fucking everywhere. Okay, have a good day, everybody. I gotta go. Have a good day. Bye-bye.